Hello, welcome to episode 11. Alright, so I have a whole bunch of mine carts happily humming along. So I had that earlier issue where they would move a little, stop, move a little, stop. I got really worried. I loaded up the game and they were still doing that even when I did not have the software on for recording videos. Fear. So I actually, instead of just restarting the game, I restarted my computer. And that seems to have fixed it. So right now I'm running the software for recording the game, and everybody's happy. So I don't know why that works. You know, if it's broken, try restarting. And hey, it worked. So I'm going with it. I'm happy to have so many mine carts humming along. They're bringing bars mostly to my assembly lines, so I've moved up the number of carts on a number of these to like 4, depending on how many bars I know that's going to go through, and I'll come through and adjust those numbers as time goes on. Some lines will want more, some will want less. Right now we're on scrap freight carts. I think those only carry 5 bars at a time. That is not much, so we're going to have a lot of freight carts going. I also, over here, built up a few more lines. So this right here was our titanium housing line, which is happily working. I also added back the lithium coil line and moved over the primary upgrade module crafter. All 3 of these are working nicely. They're getting stuff delivered, and spitting out my materials on the other side. Matter of fact, I'm going to need some of these. Every once in a while, I am still running along and adding a little helper bars because I know my network is slow right now, and whenever you run out of something, it takes a while to recover when it's so slow. However, the fact that it's running in the background means once everything's kind of at capacity and I'm not letting myself run out of bars over here, that also you don't run out of stuff nearly as often. And then finally I just stuck my construction paste makers back over here so I have a proper bank of 3, which will move quickly. So in this episode I want to do a little more setup over in that area. I need to get secondary upgrade module maker set up, and I really want to make that copper smelter. I want to get things increased. So I have a list here. I have like a to-do list for my gameplay, which is something I do regularly even when I'm not going to be recording. I know that that might be just a little bit crazy, but it makes me happy. I also do planners. So, yeah. I have whole books dedicated to to-do lists in my life, and that's what keeps me happy and sane. So, to each their own. I want to set up a rack rail maker. I also want to upgrade my build gun, hopefully. We'll have to see what goes into that, but I think I can probably upgrade my build gun, and that would be real nice. And then I want something's happening in the background there. I've already forgotten what I wanted. Rack rail maker. There we go. Okay, here's the rack rail stuff. So I'm going to take the rack railer and I'm going to come back and get the rest too. So I'm going to have a basic cargo lift. That'll be needed when I do my first lift. I'm also going to need the cargo lift controller. What is that? Oh, it's it building a stack of iron, I guess? Something was flashing in the background and it was driving me a little crazy. Okay, so I have my titanium housing crafter. I've made some titanium housings. I want to make a secondary upgrade module maker. Get that set up. I'm going to want a servo motor maker. I think that is not powered. I think I can stick it over on the right. And I'm going to want rack railer. I think this is over here. Yeah, rack railer goes under the conveyor belts. I guess that means movement. I need 4 macerators for that. Oh, I hate the recipes that call for macerators. Okay, we're going to come back to that. Let's go plop down our upgrade module makers and see what we got. So, this is kind of a classic setup for most of these powered items. I'm able to do... Well, first off, I'm going to need an energy one in the ground, but first let's do the secondary upgrade module maker. Let's just get this plopped down so I can see what goes into it. We're going to want a directional storage hopper, and it's looking for 5 fortified PCBs. Okay, so I'm going to need a full line before it, and actually this will fit right here. So I'm going to go back and add my energy grommet in the ground and go get what I need for creating my PCBs. So that's an extrusion plant, a coiler plant, and the actual PCB assembling plant. Oh, I'm gonna need more copper coils before I can do that again. Have this on a bar somewhere. There we go. And fortified was fortified. Oh, I haven't put it down. But I think fortified is nickel. I guess we'll find out. Give that something to get it started, see what I end up with, and I'm gonna want to add a couple bars, nickel bars, and we'll just do 2 carts for now. And then over here, yep, we're making fortified PCBs, so I'm gonna need to spit these out on the other end. I don't think this has power yet though, so let's go downstairs and set up some power. Oh, I was hoping that would die and I could steal its loot. So let's just put another battery here, and speaking of which, I'm gonna want another beside it because I'm about to make that servo motor maker. And I'm probably, yeah, we're far enough over that I'm probably gonna want another PCB. Are these filling? Yeah, these are filling. There we go. We have a nice straightforward room in here. There's, when everything is the same length and can line up like that easily, you can get a nice neat room down here. But when we start moving around some stuff that is not as straightforward, we're going to get some crazy patterns down here. I still haven't stuck a door in here or finished up either of these rooms, but I'll do that soon. Alright, next stop, servo motor maker. I think that requires coils? It's a good thing you don't actually have to remember these recipes, because that is a problem for me. I think that's why I kind of bounced off of Minecraft. Partially, it was hard to, like, I don't... that's unfortunate. I think I just deleted my energy grommet. You have to be careful with build 2, because you can accidentally delete things. Minecraft, without the mods, there's not, like, I like things that have a little clearer progression, or else I just run in circles, or like mini progression. So Skyrim I do great with, because there's always something to get done, even if it's something that isn't actually part of the main storyline. Minecraft, not quite enough. But the real reason I think I bounced so hard off of Minecraft with no mods is I would have to remember recipes, and that's just not going to happen. So servo motor maker, and this calls for 1 copper wire. We might not need a thingy. I don't know about that though. If we do need it, we're going to need it to be directional because we have everything nice and closely clustered there. You can't put them beside each other like that if they're not directional. Or things go downhill. Let's just put it that way. Things go downhill. I'm going to need more tin plates and copper wires, but we've had my freight carts going for a while there, so they're probably building up for me nicely, and I don't need to go interfere. I'm gonna stick down a wire maker and see if this actually works. It might not. Okay, copper going. Let's add a station. Never mind about stations. No, we have to have a storage hopper. Okay, directional storage hopper. Crafting. Ooh, I forgot to set some of this stuff to remove only. I forgot to set all of this to remove only. So apparently it wasn't causing issues, but still, it's a good habit to get into because every once in a while you'll do something and it'll definitely cause issues. Alright, we got some servo motors. We'll need those soon. I need, what do I need here? Some stations, we need stations, we need probably yet more storage hoppers. Let's just go along the back and steal a bit of everything. So my secondary upgrade modules are started. Oops, I probably didn't need the gold foil. Tin plates, copper wires. So I probably might have the stuff I need to make my copper smelter. Now that I'm not really hurting for copper because I've been so busy getting everything else working. Yeah, well, I have to pick them up. Storage hoppers. Crafting. And stations were really important. Freight cart stations. Crafting. Yeah, I get plenty of those. And I was actually running a little low on crafting. Just do 25 there. All right. Next stop was going to be rack railer. Rack railer requires macerators. Okay. I don't think I've researched macerators. And actually, while we're at it, we should do all the other annoying recipes. So, 2 things I'm going to be wanting to use next episode is the auto excavator and the work floor excavator. You really want the auto excavator when you're doing lifts, so you can manually dig down another shaft, you know, digging a pit by hand, and that is horrible. Don't do that to yourself. You'll give yourself, you know, RSI, carpal tunnel, something. We're all gamers. I'm sure we all have some minor case of that at minimum. Don't dig pits if you don't have to. And auto excavators dig them for you. They actually, you stick them down stairs and they dig upwards. So you do have to run some pretty good power. But they're very, very nice. And I believe they've been changed so they dig right through ore. Which is plus and minus. If you stick it below a big ore vein you were trying to use, you can, you know, really reduce your amount of ore you get out of that because you just dug a big hole through the middle. But you also don't have to manually dig through ore anymore, and that's just so nice. Like, you used to spend, oopsies, Copper. You used to spend a lot of time going back and forth, digging through things, whatever you had to do. So, why are you hanging out? Do I have target stock? Oh, I just don't have any tin for it to go get, I bet. Let's dump some more tin over here. That's not tin, is it? Maybe it is tin. No, that's titanium. Okay. So nano disintegrators can get you through ore, and using your build gun, which, by the way, I was going to improve, wasn't I? Let's see if I can do a build gun. I need a lot of secondary upgrade modules, a lot of titanium housing, and a lot of charged lithium coils, but those are all things I can do. That is a lot of titanium housing, because that's 6. Yeah, I'm gonna have to make a lot of trips to get that going. But, you know, it's gonna be probably worth it. I'm gonna want to go through some ore, setting up lifts down to the nickel. So I guess we should be doing that. Let's see. I'm gonna help this along. This is the copper. This is the nickel. I'm also going to help along the titanium housing. This is requesting titanium. And I'm going to help along the secondary upgrade modules. No, wait, these were the secondary upgrade modules. Yes, they are. Oh, I need to pick those up. Go make my smelter. The other thing I should put in here is lithium. And so my freight carts are coming. I'm stealing their job there, but I can do that. They're being too slow. I'll take it over, dudes. Well, no, not really. I don't want them to just stop and go on strike. Temporarily helping you out. I am a very helpful person in a spacesuit. Smelter.
Crafting.
Yay, we have one more smelter. We also are going to want a hat for it, which is going to require charged lithium coils, which I forgot to pick up. But now we got 14 of them, so that's pretty cheering. Got a hat. Right here we want the nicer, well, we got the hat. We also want the nicer smelter. There it is. So, smelter, and then let's bring back my PTG setup for now. I'm gonna have to find my green. This will work. And finally, I need a little coal. There we go. Copper is gonna fill it much faster now. Like I said, we kind of don't need it as much as we did, but I'm stubborn. That's been the goal for a while now. The goal is achieved. Let's see, what else was I doing this episode? So I got my secondary upgrade module. I want to upgrade the build gun, but just sitting here and watching things make would be a little slow. We want that rack rail maker. I really want that. So, macerators. What goes into a macerator? It's owned for undermining. Lightweight machine housing, iron gear, servo motor, copper wire. Not bad. I'm gonna make 2 of them because I know I need these a lot. Well, I need 4 of them just for this recipe. So let's go get more servo motors. 17 servo motors. There we go. And actually, let's that too. Eventually. We don't need it yet, but I might as well pick it up while I'm there. At least 2 more macerators, and then I was making rack railer. So I'm just going to make 1 rack railer for now. Often on my playthroughs, I end up wanting 2 of them because it does take a lot of iron and a lot of rack rails to run down lifts, 1 per different ore. You can do it that's not 1 per ore, but then you have to sort again when it comes back up at some point. You don't even have to sort at the smelter level, but then at some point before you go back into your automation, you're gonna have to sort it. Sorting in this game, you do have filters and stuff so you can sort. It's not the most efficient thing, so you'll sort if you do a quarry, a couple other areas, but that whole sorting system, you only want to set it up a couple times, right? You don't want to be sorting at the drop of a hat because it ends up requiring a lot of machinery. Rack railer. I'm going to offset this a little bit because I know that this requires a ton of power relative to these ones, not so much. A bit of power, not a ton. This requires a fair amount of power, if I remember correctly. Rack railer. It needs a popper, so let's do directional. Remove only. So now that I think about it, maybe the reason we don't need these to be remove only is because they were directional. 2 iron gears. So I'm going to need an iron gear maker and I believe a plate maker.
Crafting.
Iron gear maker.
Crafting.
Good deal. I'm sure I'm looking right at it, but it's not that. Those are actual iron gears. There we go. And then this recalls for an iron plate. And then I just need to fill this in a bit. If I wanted to keep this moving at full speed, I would do a setup where we have 2 different iron plate makers coming in. I am not so... I'm not going to worry about that as much because sometimes you kind of have to decide, right? Like, is the speed more important or is getting this to fit into a small space more important? This can be bars, iron bars. And let's help it along. Actually, we're gonna want more. Let's help it along with some iron so we can make sure everything's working. And then we're gonna need power downstairs anyway. I was just checking my coal level down here. If the coal starts running out, I'm gonna need to add a couple more carts. These are scrap carts, so I'll probably need to add a lot more carts. Those little flower plants in this game are so pretty, which is funny because overall it's so lurid and ugly. Like that landscape out there, though it's been toned down quite a bit versus what it was when it first came out. It's still kind of pretty. Oh, by the way, I found that unknown block. It was these things. I kept seeing unknown block when I would turn, just out of the corner of my eye. It was these things. We're gonna need a battery there, actually. Let's do the ceiling properly, too. Battery, and I would like to do, let's do a PTG. I need a PTG. We'll get a couple of these, because I know we'll need them. I also am going to need...
Crafting.
Probably a couple of these.
Crafting.
And I know I needed grommets. Another fun thing to do while working on this game is make yourself a shopping list. A list of items you're going to make the next time you go back to the manufacturer. So this would be, I'm just going to stick it right here. And then this can go up. Oh, I don't have any lenses yet. Once I start killing off the wildlife in abundance, I'll have eyes, and eyes can be made into lenses, which upgrade your lasers a bit. Oh, we were going to double check that that's running. Storage empty. Probably because I have it set to remove only. Let's see how add remove does. Cannot locate one iron plate. Oh, someone in the comments told me about this. It's because it's beside a storage hopper, and it's looking in there for the iron plate and ignoring the iron plate that's being passed to it. So let's back it up a little. This is what I was running into with the iron gear maker earlier, apparently. I'm actually gonna separate it by one conveyor belt too. See if that helps. Iron gear maker. There we go. And then is this making rack rails? Yes, it is. It's eating through the power a bit quickly. I might want to set that up differently. Maybe have two different PTGs feeding it or something. But we have my first rack rail. That's pretty thrilling. And there comes number 2. You end up needing 2 rack rails per level down. So let's say my mine is at a negative 150 meters. I'm gonna need, I think it's 300 rack rails. 300, each rack rail is using 2 iron bars, so 600 iron bars. That's a lot of iron in order to just basically 150. That's going back down to iron. You go much further for things like titanium and nickel. Yeah, this is... desires 100 power per second. You can see that in the little message. It's currently getting around 15. I think those level 1 laser shooters only do about 15 max. So, well, without a lens. So let's upgrade that later. For now, I'm going to leave it as is. I could also stick 2 PTGs right on that battery and then run the coal up to it. Maybe I'll do that in between. I think I'm gonna finish up this episode though. I have my new copper smelter. I've shown off what I've done here. I've set up a number of automation items. I'm getting excited because my mine freight carts were running, but now they're thinking about it. Oh no, they're running again. Okay, good. Just keep doing that, guys. And I will talk to everybody soon.